for Connecticut GamerCon 2022. Yay! We're all glad you could make it. A lot of fun, a lot of video games, a lot of cool stuff to see, but nothing cooler than our guest who's come all the way here from California. You know him, you love him, from Five Nights at Freddy's himself. Ladies and gentlemen, anime superstar, voiceover king of the world, master of disaster, the Duke of Paducah. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Let's give a Connecticut GamerCon round of applause for Mr. Kellen Goff.
Very normal intro.
Thank you. It's more of a wrestling intro, so I
got you.
Yeah, I was going to do the belt and all that stuff.
I got you. You don't want me to headlock you now.
Could you? All right. We'll do that after. It depends on how it goes.
How's it going, everybody? Got the baby with me. Yeah. Got you know, look after him while the wife is away.
All right. We're going to start in the beginning. You're not from Connecticut, are you?
No, not remotely.
No, you're from a place called Torrance, California.
That's where I was born.
Correctamundo.
Yeah.
So you know your own facts there.
I lived them even.
You do, now. Is it anything like Connecticut where it snows one day and then it's 70 degrees the next day and then it snows again, just for the heck of it?
I think it snowed once.
Once?
In the 50s maybe, when it got very cold. But no, Torrance is quite sunny most of the time. Yeah. But the worst it ever really gets is kind of rainy because it's right near the sea.
Yeah.
But it's very close to LA. It's about an hour south from it. And it's a lovely place. It has the 5th largest mall in the world.
Really?
Mall, yeah.
Did you hang out there like growing up?
I used to hang out there a ton.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go hang out like arcades and video game stores like a lot of these folks do? Yeah.
GameStop was my place, man.
Yeah.
KB Toys when it was still around. There was a Toys R Us right across the street. Huh?
Bring it a little closer. Oh, they can't hear you over there? Oh, it's a little hard to hear.
Okay, no worries.
Sorry. Can you hear him okay back there?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Can you hear him back there?
Cool.
Yeah? Okay, he says he can hear you.
Thanks. What was I saying?
You were saying about, I said, how was it like growing up with the 5th largest mall? Did you go to GameStops and video game stores? And you were like,
yeah, no, it was that. It was Toys R Us. It was
Toys R Us. Yes.
Toys R Us was my place, man. Transformers were my thing.
Oh yeah.
Growing up.
Now
yeah.
I read, and you can tell me if this is true. Now, not too much older than a lot of these kids here, but I heard at the age of 13, you said I want to get into do voiceover. Now, why would you suddenly say? Why would you say that? Why?
Well, I started out doing, I wanted to make cartoons, I wanted to make storybooks and stuff,
Oh,
but...
you're a good artist?
No.
Oh, okay, now that explains the voiceover part.
But I still tried. I don't have the patience for animation.
Oh.
That is a very step-by-step process and the programs crash a lot, I've heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, but I did do Flash animation when I was a kid because that's just what I put my mind to back then.
You self-taught? You learn yourself?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, YouTube taught, anyhow.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah. A lot of, anybody want to be artists out here?
Yeah.
I know how to draw. I went to school to work at Marvel Comics, and now I run comic book shows. It all works out.
You get better every time.
You do. You have to practice every day, just like an athlete. You know how they run and they swim and they do that again and again? You gotta do that. Now, as a voiceover, I gotta ask, do you do stuff to train your voice?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm never done training my voice.
Now, how does, you do warm-up, like red leather, yellow leather, baby's a bad baby, all those theater tricks?
Before the sessions and before cons like this, I do tend to do 20-minute warm-ups in the morning, whether it be in the shower or the car. And there's this lovely website for any aspiring voice actors. Well, it's actually a YouTube channel. It's called Jacob's Vocal Academy, and you'll know it by the purple thumbnails. But even if you're not a voice actor, it's a great place to warm up your voice every morning. if you want to have strong chords during the day. And I do the 20-minute one.
Now, any of you guys, do you all have impressions of Freddie? Can you do his voice? Come on. Do you do it at home? Do you like... So you got some competition out there. You better watch out. You know, you
that's why I train every day.
Yeah. I gotta keep it in tip-top position.
Yeah, don't look back because these guys are gaining on you out there.
Yeah.
Anybody want to be a voiceover actor when they grow up?
Okay, so
that's competition, buddy.
I don't see it that way. I like to see it as a collaboration every time.
Okay,
if I don't get the role, it was never meant to be mine. You know?
That's a good way of looking at it. No bitterness. Not like, oh, I should have said this or should have said that.
No, I never regret what I did because if I put it out, that means that's what I'm putting out there. So that's my best.
So you do commercials, not only video games. He does anime. Any anime fans out there too? Yeah, Attack on Titan, Hero Academy. He does all that stuff. Now, what was the very first one you did? Do you remember?
Oh man, it was sort of a menagerie of things because going back to the animation thing, I had a bit of a community there online when in the early days of YouTube, back before Google owned it even. We were doing animations not only in Flash, but we were sort of puppeting Super Smash Bros. Characters and making something called machinima, which before it was copyrighted was the name of what we did. Like it's like somebody copywriting animation, but nobody was there to stop it. So we voice acted for each other's projects, and I'm sure my first role is in there somewhere, but my first professional role where I got paid is an app game that wasn't, I don't think it's even around anymore.
Oh, really?
It's called Evolution, where it's like whack-a-mole, but every level they de-evolve quicker and quicker.
Like a mutant type of thing?
Like going back down the dark
evolution.
Yeah, so I played all the hillbillies. Yeah.
So how does one? Did you character study like old movies, or you just figured, oh heck, I could do that?
Anything I could.
Like Goofy or Disney World or something.
Oh, well, anything I could. Like I don't know. I always loved to parrot what I heard on TV. Whether it be SpongeBob or old John Wayne.
Oh, that's a great thing. No, I know you worked with. They might know but folks like Charlie Adler. There's a lot of voiceover folks who taught you what to do. Are you amazed? Like I know a friend of mine, Larry Kenny. He lives in Connecticut. If you go to the shows, everybody watch Thundercats. Your dad and mom might watch Thundercats. He's the voice of Lino. He's a huge voiceover guy for like 70 years. And he'll talk to you in normal voice, but out of nowhere it's like, oh, now I'm Lino. And he just like goes into character.
Yeah.
Is that something that you were like, wow, these guys are like magic. They can just become characters.
I used to think so. Now I see what they're doing.
Yeah.
It sort of becomes like a hitch, like a setting on a microwave or something. The more you do it, the more you can get back to that exact place when you need to.
Wow, really?
So, you know, Glamrock Freddy, I can just go right there. I just turn the volume that way.
Or Funtime Freddy, it's just all the way back up. There's just certain places that if you practice that archetype enough, you can put it right there. And then once you have that setting, you can also mess with the timer or the amount of heat or, you know,
so
metaphors.
You're thinking all this out while you're in a recording studio.
It becomes second nature.
Really? Yeah. Like muscle memory. It has to. Yeah.
You only have an hour. If you only have an hour to nail like 50 lines, you can't waste their time.
Oh, is that how it is? Like you come in at 1 o'clock, Kellen, it's your time. Here's the script. And you bang, 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 and then maybe you get a second chance to do it if they have time. Or it's that factory like.
It can be. It can be just like, especially in anime, because anime is, because on top of that. On top of the amount of lines you have in the amount of session time, you also have only a certain amount of time to say every specific line because someone in Japan said it that fast.
So there's a timing thing, the ADR, you have to match it up. Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, so you have to be quick and you have to be good or at least acceptable in that time, or else they won't bring you back.
I got a silly question before these folks ask you a question. When you dream, do you dream in your voices sometimes?
No.
You don't know though, do you?
What's that?
I mean, you don't know. You might be having a dream and suddenly Freddy's in your dream. You're like, wait, I am him.
It's funny. I think I do this so much that it's now become my job. And while I do have fun with it, I think my mind tends to go to other places now.
You
that
can turn it off when you have to.
Well, they're a bit less day to day when I dream.
All right.
Dreaming is an event for me.
Okay.
I go down. I sleep in a tuxedo. It's like going to the theater. No, it tends to be.
That would be something different. Like you're sitting there, oh, wait a minute, I am him. What's going on here now? Do you freak people out on the phone?
You're going to dream you're me tonight.
I know.
Because anything's possible in here.
I know.
That's a big pillar of what we do. Anything needs to be possible in here. You can never say no to anything unless it makes you very uncomfortable. If they're like, okay, be a lion. You better be a lion or you're out. You know? Do
you see other people go, oh, I got to remember to do that voice, or you see it? Have you ever saw like an animal? You just mentioned like a lion, like you hear a lion's roar, and you go, you know, there's an element of that I could incorporate into a character. Yeah.
All the time. I do a lot of creature work. So
what's that?
Creature sounds for video games.
Oh, okay. Creature sounds.
Like for Fiddlesticks, for example, in League of Legends.
Any League of Legends fans out here? All right.
We got one. We got two.
Two.
He's a scarecrow ghost, spirit, demon, I think. So what we were thinking is that he hears animals throughout the day, and he sort of incorporates them into his speech. So within all of the end of man kind of that's what he sounds like. There's also pigs.
Oh wow!
There's oxen. There's crows. You know, there's so much that goes into certain voices, and that's how you get picked out, by doing something creative that nobody else did. That's why I tend not to copy voices. I tend to take certain elements and then combine them into something new that nobody else has done, because they've heard everything before, these guys who hire us.
I tell you, you would have freaked my dog out with those sounds just now. My dog's Harley. If you ever wonder who the dog is, it's on all the GamerCon. That's our chocolate lab. She's at home right now. But if she heard you making crow noises and hog noises, she would be like, where's that coming from? Do you have a pet?
I do. I have a little Chihuahua Jack Russell.
Do you torture them with these noises?
No, I used to. Before we even got him, at 16, I learned how to bark from the voice of Porky Pig, Bob Bergen.
Seriously?
So when I was bored, I would just go out into the neighborhood and start a howl. You know, I would just start the neighborhood howl. The neighbors hate me.
I was going to say, do they start to wonder what's going on at the Goff house? Like, he's howling again. He's out in the yard.
And then
the teachers must have loved you. Were you that kid in the back of the room that would start doing, and who did that? And they're all looking around at Kellen. Kellen did it. Kellen did it.
See,
it was very good, Kellen.
I never really got the chance because I never figured out how to throw my voice.
Oh, ventriloquism. Yeah.
They knew where it was coming from.
So you
the first time I did that, I got in trouble.
That was detention hall, buddy.
Yeah.
How many hours did you spend there?
That was my place. There's still stuff carved into the wooden desk.
Oh.
Don't get into detention for fun, by the way.
I gotta ask too, before you do. Have you done 1,000 voices in different shows, or hundreds at least? It's up there. You go to IMDb, buddy. Your name is like a shopping list. I go, what show?
I have a fan who just updates it constantly.
Really?
I gotta thank them.
Is there one that you have that's your favorite amongst everybody?
It's so hard to choose because the more time and love you put into all of them, the more they become like your kids.
Yeah.
It's like choosing a favorite kid. Yeah. There are certain things I like to do more now. Like, I love to do, like, just the slice of life comedy stuff. I used to love the big creatures and stuff, and I still do. But, you know, I always love to do something different if I can. I don't think one day should be the same as another, or else you're not living your life to the fullest.
All right, we're gonna have some people ask you some questions besides me, but real quick, do you want to do a lot more before the screen, before the camera stuff, or are you happy with the behind the scenes voice, or do you want to become more of a on-screen actor so people see your face? Is that a temptation, or are you comfortable?
I never wanted anything.
No, really, you like just showing up and like, hey man, I could dress like this and do some voiceover, go home.
If you can't tell from what I'm wearing right now, I don't care what I look like.
Well, neither do I.
Where was my phone? I would rather just, I always just wanted to be behind the mic doing this stuff.
Well, you're young, you might.
Then that's their first impression of me, and once they see it coming out of this, they're like, that came out of you? And then that's a bigger impression, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you noticed your voice like aging? Does it get deeper, more? I know that.
I never notice it, but people tell me that it's gotten way lower since.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, is this true that you had bronchitis and that's how you got the sound for Overhaul of My Hero? Is that true?
That's true. That I was at a convention called DragonCon back in 2017, and anyone who knows about DragonCon knows you're not leaving. If you're not careful, you're not leaving there without something.
Con crud.
So the con crud is what we call it. So I got bronchitis from it, and I didn't know it was bronchitis. It just started out as a cold, and I thought it went away, and then it came back. But then I got the audition for Overhaul. It's like, okay, the best I can do is use this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you know, it sounded a lot like this, but like. It took 6 hours and a lot of sweat to get out 5 lines. That sounded okay to me. And I was like, yeah, once I get better, I'll be able to replicate that.
So there's a lesson for you. Even when you're sick, you can make an advantage. You turn lemons into lemonade that day.
Exactly, if you get the right copy, if you get the right script.
Yeah. Were they impressed when you showed up and then went, whoa, he's sick, and he's still like a trooper out there?
No, the casting director I had met at a con before, so she knew what she was getting into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Colleen. Hi, Colleen.
All right, before I do my little Freddy trivia, who has a question for Kellen here? First one up. All right, you've been answering a lot. You know a lot more about stuff than we do, so what's your question for him?
How's Gregory?
How's Gregory?
Well, I believe Gregory is still in the Pizzaplex. But I will check on him after this show. I am flying back there after this.
All right, you right there with the glasses.
How long did it take to get the perfect clam out Freddy voice?
That actually didn't take too long because Scott had a very good idea of what he wanted before he asked me. He wanted something fatherly, and he wanted an Optimus Prime type tone. So I gave him, generally what we do with Scott is, you know, he tells me as much as he knows he wants, and then I'll give him 3 or 6 choices, and he'll choose whichever he likes the best, or he'll say, take 5 and then pitch it up a little bit, and that's what we'll use. You know, sometimes it can be agonizingly long, but for Glamrock Freddy, it just took a couple of days to agree on something.
All right, this gentleman with the black and green shirt has got his hand up. What's your question?
Want one? Go get him!
There you go. Right here. What's your favorite?
I love Mangle. Mangle is a very unique design. Not very much like the others. So I love obscure things.
We're right next to you. Could you do a moon? Baseball cap right there.
As a voice actor, how did you get yourself known?
How do I get myself known? It's sort of just, the more you do and the more friends you make, it just sort of comes. I really don't try to be known. I just sort of go on social media and say whatever comes to mind, try and advertise what I'm doing and where I'm going to and stuff. And, you know, if you end up doing something for someone popular and they shout you out, that's cool. But I used to, but I never really tried to like ask famous people for shout outs because it seems kind of tacky now. Yeah, no, it's just getting yourself out there and eventually someone will find you.
Do you have a good agent, a booking agent?
I do.
Yeah.
Atlas Talent.
Yeah? Is
Yeah,
that who
they're
you've always had
fantastic.
since you were younger, or you?
No, Atlas took me on during the pandemic, actually.
Oh, okay.
They took me on about 2020, but I booked a lot of things through them. I booked God of War, the next one.
Oh, wow.
Through them.
Is that out yet?
No, it's coming out.
Oh, it's
though,
coming out.
but we're allowed to talk about it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
what's that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so during the pandemic, a lot of folks were shut down. We were shut down. There was no conventions, obviously, for a while. But I bet for somebody who does voiceover, you were still busy, like nothing happened, right?
The moment I heard the word pandemic, I bought a booth, and that has way 7 times overpaid
Oh,
for
yeah?
itself. The voiceover climate has sort of gotten to remote stuff
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
So if you have a studio quality booth, then you're going to look a lot more attractive to a casting person rather than someone who needs to be flown out or go to a studio in public. And sometimes they'll want their studio because it has the sound they like, but then they'll only hire Texas or California talent because they're local. Exactly.
Right. Is that more and more people working from home? Is that like switched over from the pandemic?
It's hard to say. A lot of people work from home now, a lot, but it's hard to say because there's also been a lot of talk of this only being temporary. And a lot of home booths of voice actors are, even if they sound good, a lot of them may just be shower curtains and and setup.
A closet somewhere.
Yeah, so it's a very case-by-case thing.
Job. Okay. Any more questions before we do some trivia? Who you're standing up? Yeah, Milford. Yeah. You can, yeah, that's okay. What's your question? I do.
See, I have never met him in person, but I've talked to him on the phone many times, and we have countless emails now.
Go ahead.
I have no clue. I assume you're talking about the Michael Afton theory. That would be great if it was true. I don't know any inside lore, though. I don't know anything more than what I read on the page.
Hey man, we do comic books, and Terrificon's all about comic books. You only did one Marvel. You were Bruce Banner once. What's wrong with you? Come on, man. Do some more superhero stuff.
It's not my fault. I've tried multiple times, but they like who they like.
Now, were you Bruce Banner when he got mad, or just, you know?
Oh, I'm just regular wimpy Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
When it's in that game, Marvel's Avenger Academy.
Yep.
The Hulk was voiced by John Cena.
Oh, well, you could take him.
So I was the Banner to Cena for a bit.
You could be the new Peacemaker. I could see that happening. We'll call up John right now.